Listen up. I know you got plenty of these in your recommended right now, but I've been waiting all day to talk about this, and I'm not going to wait any further. So you better like the video, you better subscribe, or else I ain't gonna do anything. You're your own person. I trust you to make good choices. 3 new videos have been dropped for Wilds, and one of them is the Greatsword sort of showcase. And I find that hilarious because I was literally playing Greatsword in a video that I released like less than 24 hours ago. Let's have a look at focus mode first, because that video was actually incredibly interesting and revealed a lot about what wounding and focus mode in general, how they work. Just like me, Dark Hero, and Rurikon were speculating in a video ways past, when you go into focus mode, you give up mobility for higher damage. You even have a reticle that is dedicated to showing you where you are aiming. It's going to be very interesting to see how this changes depending on what weapon you are using. You can actually see the Greatsword do a very cool vertical strike that can land on the wounding mechanic, but we'll get to that in a second. Giving us this kind of precision when we're hunting is going to be incredible. I'm pretty sure that this is going to literally allow us to lock in while we're hunting and really focus down on those weak points and the wounding mechanics. But again, before we get to that, we saw the best weapon ever. The Sword and Shield has made its debut. It looks fantastic within the default wild setting. We saw the sliding attack with the Sword and Shield, which is actually really cool. Reminds me of the one we have in Rise, which I enjoyed a lot. You know, the one that is a slide into a jump into a shield bash. We don't really see the proper follow-ups. We don't know if it's just a slide to dodge, kind of like what the Charge Blade has. The fact that you can use this with focus mode and kind of use it to dodge out of the way with specific monsters, it just seems really nice. Really curious to see how decorations that affect, you know, the evade iframe windows and distance will affect this kind of move. It also seems like kind of like how Rise added the spinning Reaper attack. It seems like Wilds is adding its own thing, although I'm not sure if this is just a really polished animation at the end of the combo or if it's a new move, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit distracted by Shatakabra's ass. It's just so detailed. Then we see a little bit on wounding, which is more than enough for me to know how it works. The way that you proc wounds is by attacking the monster in specific areas multiple times over and over until it is procced. When a monster is wounded, it appears that you will be able to do extra damage to that area, reminding me of Tenderizing. Although I'm not 100% sure if that's how it's gonna work, because we see that you can actually proc extra damage by using focus mode. It reminds me of that one switch skill in Rise Sunbreak for the Charge Blade, where you can put a file on a monster and then you can blow it up and it deals damage. Reminds me of that a lot. And you can actually proc multiple wounds, as we can see on this clip, where you can see about 3 or 4 different spots. And you can see that the Greatsword Hunter here manages to proc it and deal extra damage by using the focus mode. It also seems like every single weapon is going to get brand new focus mode attacks, including these attacks called the focus strikes. These are the moves that we see that proc the wound on the monster. They showed us the longsword version of it and the gun lance version of it. They do look cool, and I'm going to spare you of a longsword and a gun lance joke in this video because they do look awesome, but I still just wanted to see more of the Sword and Shield here. Overall, it looks like focus mode is going to be a very fun way to fight the monsters in this game, and I just can't wait to get my hands on it and try it myself. Let's switch over to the other video that talks about basic mechanics. I'm going to skip over a lot of it because a lot of it is, you know, basic mechanics. How do you heal? You know, having your weapon drawn versus having it sheathed. You being able to heal while mounted or sharpen while mounted, just like you had with the Palamutes. So I'm going to be skipping to this part of the video right here where you actually get to see a lot of stuff. I think the biggest thing about this entire shot is not only the begin quest sign looking very nice and spiffy, but the 3D map on the bottom left is something that I'm so stupidly excited about. 3D maps in games have made traversing a lot easier. I think the map in Remnant is one of the best ones, and it's basically a 3D map just like this one. It just makes traversing the map a lot smoother. I mean, just sit back and think about how much time you would have saved if you had something like this while you were making your way through the ancient forest. But if you have a look at the bottom right, you actually see a couple more things as well. You see the monster distance, and I believe that's in meters or whatever metric they want to use here, which is pretty cool because you can actually tell how far or how close a monster is from you. It makes me curious to see if you can have multiple of these icons at once, so you can basically tell if you're about to get ganked by a monster or not. I did wonder if they were going to show a little bit more of the weapon swapping, but I guess that's just what it is. You put a weapon in a pouch and you take out the other one. The main questions that I have about this system would be build-oriented, but I think these are all questions that we're going to start answering once we get our hands in the game, once we start trying to look into the meta building. The only reason I'm asking myself this question is because if you want to use a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, those require very different armor skills. Will swapping weapons mean we swap the decorations on our set, but we keep the same armor? We get a look at the hook slinger, which seems like convenience done right for me. In World, you were able to hook around into specific areas with your slinger. You were also able to use the clutch claw and slinger bursts. But here it seems like you're more focused on flexibility and utility with the hook slinger. You can trigger traps and you can gather items from far away, and that does seem really nice. I think it's pretty much been confirmed at this point that the hook slinger will not be involved with focus mode or wounding, as they seem to be an entirely different system. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Wanted to keep it short and sweet to the point. I really am excited to see what else is going to be releasing to us soon. I want you to tell me what weapon are you excited to see, but I also want you to tell me what was most exciting for you in the 3 videos that we got today. But that is all I got for you for now. Stay safe, and until we meet again.